Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. So last week it was the start of the Formula Regional Middle East, and this week it's the start of Formula Regional Oceania, formerly known under the much easier to say Toyota Racing Series, a junior series that has been pumping out top stars for years and encompassing the New Zealand Grand Prix, a race won by such luminaries as Sterling Moss, Jack Brabham and Lance Stroll. So before the 2024 season gets underway, let's look at all the teams and drivers competing in the Formula Regional Oceania and try and pick out some winners. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and let's jump into the video. M2 Competition. So the M2 Competition team are the team to beat. One of their drivers has won the last 5 editions of this series, going back to Robert Schwartzman in 2018. They have also won 8 of the championships since 2011. So the easiest thing to do is choose one of the M2 runners and knock off for an early dinner and a nap. But this might shock you, I can't see Michael Shin winning anything. He has won a British F4 race, but that is the only race he won, and he finished 11th overall in 2022. He was poor in GB3 and did nothing of note in Formula 3. He might do better here because he is more experienced than a lot of the runners, but I'd be shocked if he took a win. Gerard G is very similar, but he is a champion in China and he did win a GB3 race, still only finishing 20th overall. Roman Belinsky won 3 races in GB3 but again hasn't done a lot in his career, finishing 21st in Formula Regional European in 2023, so you can count him out as well. The 2 more impressive names for M2 are Nicolas Lacourte, a young Alpine junior who was okay in Italian F4 last year, and Liam Skeets, who finished 4th overall in this series in 2023 and will be looking to do better than that in 2024, obviously. He is the most likely to push for the championship win, I think, but none of these drivers really have a CV that shouts Formula Regional Oceania champion. Might M2 lose for the first time in 6 years? Mtech Motorsport. Tommy Smith's campaign in Formula 3 in 2023 is the only time I have seen him compete, and based on that, he's going to crash loads and finish near the back. He might do slightly better here, he is more experienced than the majority of the drivers taking part, and has previously taken part in the Toyota Racing Series back in 2019. He finished 14th then, and any better than that here will be a shock result in itself. Lucas Feckery raced in the series last year and was dreadful. I think he was last in most races, so if he can improve on that, it won't just be a shock, it'll be a miracle. Mtech have a couple more Oceanic drivers. Firstly, Elliot Cleary, who is a very young Australian with a few Formula Ford races and a season of Trans Am behind him, and Kiwi Caden Probst, who spent 2023 in the New Zealand Formula Open Series. Very much a learning experience for both of them. Hunter Uni is also racing part-time, probably just for New Zealand Grand Prix round. I honestly forgot he existed. He's had a few part-time attempts at Formula 3 and has never scored points, and hasn't won a race since winning the 2020 USA F4 Championship. This would probably be his best chance to change that. Kiwi Motorsport. The New Zealand-based team launched an assault on the 2024 Formula Regional Oceania Series with a series of inexperienced Americans and Canadians at the helm. Patrick Woods-Toff made his car debut in 2023, winning the US F4 Championship, and might be a name worth keeping an eye on. Titus Sherlock finished 2nd in that series and will have his eyes firmly set on beating the Canadian. Jake Bonilla has been around a while longer but struggled in the Formula Regional Americas Championship in 2023. Jet Bowling also debuted in the US F4 last year but did nothing of note and finished 30th overall after just 12 races. And finally, Mac Clark is doing a part-time in the series. He's more experienced than most in this squad, but other than a couple of wins in the US F2000 series, hasn't been all that exciting. Strange mix of young American drivers who have never raced in New Zealand. My only guess is it comes as some sort of package deal. Buy 3 Americans and we'll throw in a couple of Canadians free of charge. Giles Motorsport. I think Giles Motorsport may have the best driver lineup in 2024, at least on paper. Christian Mansell is an Australian who has impressed in Formula 3 with a couple of podiums, and as the driver with by far the most impressive CV here, I think he has to be the favourite, and the Formula Regional Oceania Championship would be a nice feather in the hat going into his second full Formula 3 season. Caleb Nartoa has raced in this series a couple of times before, finishing 2nd overall in the COVID-hit year of 2020. He also won races in S5000 and has raced in Japan and America. He's good, but he seems to mostly focus on New Zealand and Australia. Therefore, a win here could be a good launching point if he's considering a career in Europe. Landon Matriano Lim was another who debuted in American F4 last year and finished 32nd overall. The less said the better. And our final driver and final of just 4 New Zealanders in the series, Alex Crosby, a very young driver who won the New Zealand Formula 4 Series in 2023 and could be a name to watch in the future. Maybe one day he'll be considered amongst the best to ever win this series. So they are all the drivers and teams taking part in the Formula Regional Oceania this year. Not very easy to pick out a winner because no one here really stands out. It seems a bit obvious to go for Christian Mansell, but if he is doing the full series, and why wouldn't he, then I guess I'll pick him to be the 2024 champion, but I'll go for a shock win for Liam Skeets in the New Zealand Grand Prix race. It's usually won by a Kiwi, or someone who's Dutch, and with no Dutch drivers, Liam Skeets was decent in the series in 2023, and I imagine he'll be there or thereabouts in 2024. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.